are related to the 10th canto.
Hmm.
And you'll see the 10th canto, the purpose, because the purpose is to arrive at the conclusion. So you'll see the purpose in 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 all the other cantos when you read it the second time around,
Hmm.
and then you get new light from reading it the second time. But if you don't read the conclusion, if you go back to the beginning, you still don't know what is the conclusion. You still don't know what you know the acharyas have to offer
Hmm.
in their commentaries to the 10th canto. So then it's just like you're going back to square one and starting over again. If you read the whole thing through,
Yeah.
and when you go back to square one, you're going back to the 13th canto and the 14th canto and the 15th canto and the 16th canto and the 17th canto
Yeah.
and onward. Whereas if you only go through to the ninth canto and then you start back at one, you're just going back to one again.
Hmm.
But if you read all 12 cantos, then when you go back to the first canto, it's the 13th canto, because you get new understanding, new light, because you're seeing from a different perspective.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna.
So
Yeah.
you have to read the whole thing all the way through.
Okay.
But just read carefully. The first time you're reading, don't read sloppy. Read carefully.
Hmm.
I try to understand, and I would suggest that when you run across interesting parts
Hmm.
or interesting statements, you note them down.
Okay.
That's something that I didn't do that, but I regret that I didn't do that, because many times when I want to refer to something that I read which was very interesting, I can't remember where I read it,
Yeah.
because I have a Kali Yuga brain like everybody else. Prabhupada said, remember means remember to write it down.
Yeah. Definitely.
So so it's a good idea to at least certain key statements, when you run across key statements which are like valuable statements, with regard to various issues,
Hmm.
then you then make a note of it, and which purport, which verse, which purport, like that something is found, so
Yeah.
that you can refresh your memory when you need to discuss things in the future. You'll need to as a preacher, you'll need to discuss points in the future,
Hmm.
and you'll have to put things together for people, so that they, with reference to the statements in Shastra. You'll have to put the things together so that they can have a clear understanding of what is the actual Siddhanta
Yeah.
and why. It's essential so that you can become a good preacher.
Hmm.
You should become a better preacher than me, because I'm not a very good preacher. And the reason why I'm not a very good preacher is because I can't always back my statements with the evidence that's required from the Shastric Pramana, from the Shastric statement, because I can't remember where it is that I read things, because I didn't write it down.
Hmm.
So you write things down, so that in the future, when you become, you know, when Lord Chaitanya will require you to do the needful, which he will in the future, he'll require you to do the needful. So you should prepare yourself for being able to do that job better than whatever I've done. I've I when I read, I more or less just glean the essence, put it into my heart and live it, live that mood, and that's also an important thing to do. Not just writing things down as if you're storing data to regurgitate. It has hard, but you can write them just to make easy reference when you need to discuss points.
Yeah.
If any discussion comes up and you're required to establish certain tattvas or certain siddhanta, to um, let's say put things in a more Krishna conscious perspective than what perhaps other people or even other devotees are able to do. So that you can convince people that what we're saying is correct.
Definitely.
So then it's good for you to have an easy reference manual, namely your notebook. That you wrote the little notes down in.
Yeah.